Allman in the morning. Common Sense Radio.
Living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world.
I have good news if you are the owner of a QT convenience store in Chicago.
All right.
Or anywhere for that matter. You will not be set on fire today.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're a QT convenience store in St. Louis, you will not be set on fire, nor in Chicago. If you're a Walgreens on Michigan Avenue, you will not be stormed by a gang of black youth. You're safe. You can conduct your business as normal. If you are a shopper along Michigan Avenue, you can shop without being disrupted by protesters or anybody like that. There won't be a Black Lives Matter march. None of that stuff. If you're a school in Chicago, barring any storm or whatever, you'll remain open. The kids aren't going to leave class to wander out into the quadrangle and bitch about racism in America. You know why? And you have, you know what you have? You have the black guys beating a disabled man to thank for that. You know why? Because they're not white. So there will be no rioting. There will be no burning of QTs because the perpetrators of this racist act are black. So isn't it great? So there's good news. Can you imagine me able to pull the good news out of such a horrible story? Remember again, thank goodness, for the sake of peace in the land, that the individuals on this tape are black.
Boy, big Donald Trump, white people, boy.
No.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I also am quite possibly able to tell the girl who put the tape on her Facebook page that she might even be able to stay logged in. Facebook might not even disrupt her account. You know why? Because she didn't say a horrible thing about Barack Obama. So her Facebook account might even be safe. And by the way, you also can learn more about what's happening on Capitol Hill with the cabinet appointments and those kinds of things. There's even more time now to learn about what really happened to Mariah Carey on New Year's Eve. There's all kinds of space now in the newscast that you're going to be watching tonight and in the newspapers and everything because the perpetrators of this horrible racist crime were black. So think of all the other stories that can be covered now that there's nothing to see here. It's great. You know, you guys, sometimes I'm accused of being, giving you bad news sometimes or not such great news. But I'm here to give you the good news. And here's the other good news. The police department is seemingly not even concerned about this. So they can actually go after other crime like burglaries and those kinds of things because they don't have to worry too much about what's going on like in certain neighborhoods. Because after all, these are just kids, right? This is no different than, I don't know, littering, right? I mean, don't ask me. Ask the police commander of the detective division there, Kevin Duffin, who sounds a lot like Dan Aykroyd, actually.
although they are adults, they're 18. Kids make stupid decisions. I shouldn't call them kids; they're legally adults, but they're young adults, and they make stupid decisions.
Oh, good. Thank goodness. So I don't have to worry about it anymore because they're just stupid kids. Well, I mean, don't take his word for it. Take the word of the Chicago police superintendent, for crying out loud.
Not that I'm aware of it, as far as any additional incidents, but I think that, like the commander said, I think some of it is just stupidity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
You're just stupid.
I was afraid it was anti-Trump racism. Oh. You're like, why is it racist? Oh, you didn't know that the disabled victim was white? Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, if the story's reported at all, that's not reported either. So that's the good news, is that there's not a problem. And by the way, on a serious note, you wonder why Chicago has the murder rate that it has. Mm-hmm. Because the police are now aping the attitudes of the parents. And that is that, these are just kids. It's ranting. This is just this. This is just that. Oh, there'll be all kinds of excuses today. There'll be all kind. Will they have the panel? You know what? It's interesting how the news organizations now are scrambling to actually cover anything but this story. And by the way, we're also knowing that the Justice Department will be able to go after other things now and spend time on other things because they won't do a civil rights. They don't have another one of those bothersome civil rights investigations to undertake. You know why? Because the people doing the civil rights violation are black. So thank goodness, because Loretta Lynch can occupy herself with other stuff. And thankfully, what she's occupying herself with is packing boxes to get her rear end out of the office so she can spend more time packing. And imagine this, too. President Obama has now a free paragraph in his farewell speech in Chicago now that he can dedicate to something else. So he doesn't have to bother wondering which one of these guys, if he had a son, would be his son. Because the perpetrators of this heinous crime are black, so who cares? It's not a big deal. So Barack Obama has a free paragraph in his farewell speech that he doesn't have to dedicate to a horrible racist crime because it's not racist. Because the perpetrators are black. See how easy this is? How easy life is? So all kinds of great things are coming out of this heinous, disgusting, vile terrorist act. So there's an upside, and you know me, I'm a sunny personality. So I always try to find the good in everything, and so I found it. Did you? 969-9797, 866-455-9797. Did I leave anything out? Because I'm just wondering if if I left any good upsides to this story out. I'm just trying to make sure. Geraldo, I wonder if he's going to cover this story, but let's just pretend that he did and is covering this story. I wonder how he would see this heinous, vile, disgusting, torturous, terrorist violation of civil rights. How he would describe it. I don't know, maybe.
Here, it's almost like terror vandalism.
Oh, terror vandalism. Why? Because they vandalized the disabled man's head? I don't know. I'm just wondering. And what's also great about this is that the pundits don't have to talk about hate speech or anything like that anymore when it comes to this story. So they don't have to bother themselves with a panel discussion about the hate speech that's coming out of the Republican Party because it's coming out of the Democrat Party. And they don't have to discuss that because they won't. Is it any wonder over the past couple of weeks, as President Obama, as the head of the snake, has continually taken shots at Donald Trump, even as a poll was taken, And it showed that actually people prefer Trump over Obama when asked who they'd vote for now. But anyway, I'm sure that's not getting a whole lot of coverage. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But imagine, though, and again, on a serious note, imagine had this been a situation where it was white people attacking a black disabled man. And the truth of the matter is, you'd have, they'd be showing clips of Mississippi burning, and they would be burning QTs, and they would be rushing onto Michigan Avenue, and they would be marching.
And rioting.
And the cops would be concerned, and there would be a civil rights violation investigation by Loretta Lynch, and there would be a speech by Barack Obama. And that's just the reality of this situation. But that's the world that we live in, where you cannot be racist if you're black. You cannot violate anybody's civil rights if you're black. And if you do something horrible, the police will just say you're a dumb kid. Pretty crazy. Pretty interesting world we live in.